What's up YouTube? I'm Alex Carpenter, and today I want to show you how to add a skip to link to your website. This is going to help out keyboard users easily navigate your website by not having to go through your navigation links every time they navigate to another page. So we can add something that typically shows up here in the top left hand corner of your website that allows them to skip over this header navigation type element and get right into the main content of the page. So diving right into it, let's look at our code here. My website is built in Craft CMS, so I'm making use of Twig to include my header element. Then you can see I have my main element here. We can see that represented. This is the header element, and anything below that is going to be our main content. So what we can do here to start is add a link to the top of the page. This needs to be the first element on your page, and we're just going to say skip to main content within there. Next, to be able to get this to jump to the spot where we want them to go, we need to link it up by targeting this ID that I have of main. So we can do a href with a hashbang of main, and I'm going to add a class that I can target to style this as well. So I'm going to do skip to. Cool. So when we go back to our web page here, we can now see that this link is going to show up for us. And when we click that, it jumps us down to that main content. Cool. So let's style this to make it a little bit better and skip to. Cool. So we're going to target skip to. And we want to absolutely position this to the top left of our page. So we'll do top 0, a left of 0. And then we kind of want to make this stand out a little bit more, so I'm going to make it look similar to my button styles. I'm going to add a padding to the element, spacing unit small. I'm using CSS variables on my website. This is going to be something similar to if you had Sass variables. You're doing spacing unit small. We can ignore that for the time being for the sake of the demo. Next, I want to make it have a background color of our button background color, and then we're going to add a color of our button color as well. Lastly, I think I want to take off the text decoration for this one, and let's see where we're at here. Reload this page. Let's see what we got going on. Did we skip top? There we go. Resave that. Now we should see this jump up. All right, cool. So we can see that this stands out quite a bit. We don't want that there by default. So what we can do to allow that to be only visible when it is focused is do a transform on this element, and we're going to translate. We're going to translate y of negative 100%. So when we save that, we can see that that gets removed from our page. It's just right above here, hidden outside of the page content. And then when we focus that element, we want to translate or transform it back down. So we'll just do a transform of none on that. So when we reload this page and I hit my tab key, we can see that that becomes visible, and we can see it has my outline of red, which is my just default focus style that I have applied to all links. So when a user tabs to it and then they hit enter, that jumps them down to that main content. Last thing we want to do, this is going to be a little bit difficult to show, but I'm going to open VoiceOver on Mac, which is Command 5, and this is going to start talking really quick for us, but we can see what happens. So I turn on VoiceOver, and then I hit tab, so it's focused on that link, and it's explaining that to me here. We're just going to turn that off for the time being, but it's explaining that this link is focused. And then when I hit enter, it jumps me down the page, but it doesn't announce to the user that they have actually moved at all. They're still focused on that link above. So for our users that are relying on screen readers, voiceover type help for them to navigate pages, this didn't announce to them that they actually moved down the page. So the last thing that we want to do is help with that. And how we can do that is add, on our main element here is a tab index of -1. And what that does is allows us to move focus to this element, but keep it outside of our tab, our typical tab navigation throughout our website. So we can now link to this element, which will move the focus to it. But as we are tabbing throughout the page, naturally, I will not tab into this. So that's a little trick that you can do. So we can see here now as we go back, I'm going to reload this page. We're going to open VoiceOver. We're going to focus that link, and then we can watch down here as I hit enter. We can see it immediately starts reading this element right here for our users. So this is going to help out users who rely on voice commands to navigate a web page. We're going to turn that off. But you can see here now I have this blue outline that every web designer hates. Since this is not an element that our users are going to have any type of clicking or any of that type, it's not an input, it's not a button, it's not a link, we can remove that outline because it's not needed for them. We can do that. I'm just going to do an inline style here, and I'm just going to remove that outline and set it to none. So now when we head back, we're going to reload this page. I hit tab and I jump down to the page. That's going to read out and it's going to move us down to the page, and I don't have that outline. So that's going to help out our users a lot. It's a pretty simple thing to implement, and thanks for watching.